right, end of the week. The wait is finally over. You see the title of the video. Let's get to the season review we have all been waiting for. Welcome back to Nets Republic. I'm your host, Sever the Bond. Good old Nets Republic. We are on the road to 1,000 subscribers, so please tell a Nets fan to subscribe to the channel. We are making our way downtown just like Vanessa Carlton would have wanted us to do. On our way to 1,000 subscribers. I appreciate all the support so far. Let me turn on that other light. Boom. Listen, right, it's going to be clearer now. What? Well, yes, we are on the road to 1,000 subscribers, so please do your due diligence and share the video and the channel and all that. And if you haven't hit the subscribe button, hit the subscribe button. Also, while you're doing that, go to netsrepublic.com, hit the shop tab, and go buy yourself a t-shirt, because that's what you need in your life. And we got hoodies. We got all sorts of various physical vernacular for you to don. You feel me? You want to rep Nets Republic at the gym? You feel me? We got t-shirts for that. You feel me? You want to rep that Liberty lifestyle if that's how you get down. If you support teams that get bounced out in the first round, which you do because you're subscribed to Nets Republic. The depression is real. Listen, once you have done all that, we will continue on with the video. So I'll just wait for you to hit the subscribe button and wait for you to check out netsrepublic.com and hit the shop button. But while you're doing that, I will share a quick story with y'all. I am so happy it's Friday. It has been such a long week. Jesus Christ. I mean, it feels like every other day some insanity happened with the Nets, and I was constantly coming home with, well, how am I going to cover this? How am I going to cover this? I got to push this back. I got to push this back. I thought I was going to have to push back the Kyrie Irving video in total because he did that podcast on like The Shop or whatever, and I was thinking if he had a juicy soundbite on there, then we would have to push the season review back, but I can save you about 36 minutes. That man didn't really say much. I mean, it was pretty much taken up by the actresses and various individuals who were on there. Kyrie didn't really get too many words in. And there was a Michael Jordan deep dive, and Kyrie really didn't get much to say. And I was like, that's kind of weird, but that's neither here nor there. Kyrie Irving was also featured in a YouTube video of some dork who speaks really, really loudly on camera, which, Jesus, I just described myself, but that's neither here nor there. So if you're feeding for some Kyrie Irving content, seriously, just type it in on YouTube. There's like now three involving the man, so you can go peep that. But anyway, let us get to the season review for Kyrie Artichoke Irving. I don't know if that's his middle name, but it is today. So Kyrie Artichoke Irving, let's get to the shenanigans. We're going to start with everyone's favorite, the defense. What letter grade will we give Kyrie Irving for his defensive abilities this year? I'm going to keep it being with you, even though that is one of the things I get on him for the absolute most out of all the things that went on this season. As far as the specific category, I'm going to be nice. I'm going to give Kyrie Irving a B-. Now, I know that seems like it's a lot, especially for someone who only played a fraction of the games, but I saw some things defensively from Kyrie Irving that I'm going to be honest, I have not seen in the past. That's why I'm so confident with the amount of buy-in we're going to have for small ball this year, because I saw multiple times, especially when Harden was there, multiple times where Kyrie bought in 1,000%, not only jumping in the passing lanes, but throwing the outlet passes as well. Now, we know he was a shooting guard when Harden was there, but the times when the big three was out there, I mean, who can forget the Chicago Bulls game where we absolutely laid the smackdown on them? And how ironic it's a Friday night. We laid the smackdown on them bums, and Kyrie Irving was getting involved in the 50-50 balls and all that with all the hustle and energy. There are times when that man bought in. B- might be a little too high. Maybe I'm overrating it, but the fact that we saw glimpses of this man actually attempting to play D, that's stuff we ain't seen since the finals. You feel me? Since when that man had the nightly assignment of guarding Steph Curry type stuff. I'm going to give him a B- strictly from the standpoint of I believe he will buy in to this year. Is that fair? Absolutely not. Am I grading him on a curve? I might be. But I see the future, and I never use this word. I absolutely hate it. But I see the future potential in Mans. I do. I see the potential on-ball defender from this man. Now, he goes to Karis LeVert offensive land quite often and forgets about everything else. But I will say I saw glimpses, and the glimpses is enough for me. I will give that man a B- because he stepped up in multiple ways that we normally don't see from Mr. Kyrie Irving. So for defense, I'm going to give him a B-, more than I would expect, and I am absolutely here from it, meaning there's a level that he can ascend to. You feel me? There's Super Saiyan, then there's Ascended Saiyan. I believe there is an ascended level that he will reach that we ain't even seen yet. We ain't even seen this type of bag from Kyrie. That's the type of energy we're going to get from him. Now, before we move over to the offensive side, because there's only a couple things we can grade him on, honestly, we have to do a quick overview of the season for Kyrie Irving. Now, Kyrie Irving, in case anyone forgot, because last year was it was a lot. Last season was a lot. We started the year with the early prediction that one person on the Brooklyn Nets was not vaccinated. And I jokingly got on camera and said, when it turns out it's Kyrie Irving, let's all agree to not make a big deal about it, until he decided to make a big deal about it. He went on Instagram Live during the WNBA Finals, something he says he supports, but decided to go live and take viewership away from it. You know, we were all huddled around the television trying to see could Candace Parker take down the three-headed dragon over in Arizona of Diana Taurasi, Skylar Diggins-Smith, and Brittany Griner, you feels me? Was the combination of Vandersloot, Kalia Copper, and Candace Parker gonna be enough? You feel me? We was trying to see what was going on with that. But instead, Kyrie just went live on IG and everyone just migrated over there to see what the man was up to, where he started to tell us various theories and instances that he had about the pandemic and all that, which led to the beginning of the poop storm that we would go through. Kyrie Irving would decide to not be vaccinated. He also swore off talking to the media, so we never really heard his side until much later on. The Brooklyn Nets had a decision to make. Do they let him play half of the game? Because at the time there was a New York mandate. So Kyrie was not legally able to play the home games. So Nets brass had to sit down and have the rough conversation and decision-making process of, do we just let him play half the games or do we just send him home? They decided to send him home. So Kyrie Irving sat at home, watched us get off to a strong start. Then people came to the conclusion that James Harden was not interested in scoring, so all he had to do was stop KD and you can win games. Then we started to free fall. They asked for Kyrie Irving to come back. Kyrie Irving came back, proceeded to give everyone COVID. That was a rough period of time. Then it was just up to the kids. Then the kids got COVID and Harden came back. And it was just Harden, Patty Mills, and the kids. And they did what they did on Christmas. And then Kyrie Irving eventually came back on a part-time status. So we had some moments. Like where we referenced the Chicago Bulls Day. Always warms my heart when I think of that game. We were laying the smack down on, just smacking them around. It was a wonderful game where the big three was out there. And it seemed like everything was going to be all right. Then Kevin Durant got hurt, and it was part-time Kyrie and James Harden. Those two did not get along without the absence of Kevin Durant. It's kind of like when you're hanging out with your friend and your friend's friend's over, but you're not friends with that friend, and the only person you have in common is your friend, and then that friend leaves the room, and it's just your friend's friend and you just in the room awkwardly, and it's like, look, I don't really know you, and it's like, well, I don't really know you either, and that dynamic didn't really work out at all. And next thing we knew, James Harden was asking to be traded, so we didn't have any full-time athletes because Kevin Durant was hurt, Ben Simmons was hurt, Kyrie Irving wasn't legally able to play the home games, so things were a little wild. But the times that Kyrie came back, the offensive stupors, the offensive onslaughts Mans was throwing out there. We talking a 60-point game against the Magic. You remember that game? You remember when that man single-handedly took down Giannis and them? KD was chilling that game. KD was chilling that game. It was Kyrie on ISO Island laying the beats on them. When they went over to Philly and Kyrie single-handedly locked down Harden, which really isn't that hard to do nowadays, but put the clamps on Harden, and then was giving him the business on the other side too, bullying that man on the post. Absolutely beautiful. Kyrie had some very shining moments, and we all assume that when he came back full-time, we will say, well, if this is what he's doing part-time, imagine what he's doing full-time. Kyrie eventually came back full-time because the mandate was lifted with some very questionable things that we just don't have the time to get into. This video will be 15 minutes long. So Kyrie comes back after the mandates were lifted under questionable circumstances, because there was a time where he was allowed in the building, but he couldn't play on the court. He tried to go to the locker room. They wouldn't let him go to it was weird. You just had to be that. Last year was a movie, but and not the good kind, not the good kind. Last year was a film festival, if anything, but that's neither here nor there. And ain't no one dancing on the sun in this film festival. Sun dance, dancing on the film. I thought that was clever. I thought that was clever, and at least one of you laughed. I know it, but that's not here nor there. So Kyrie Irving comes back after the mandate is lifted, and he's okay. Wasn't amazing. He was just okay. But KD was back, and 7-Eleven was alive and well, and we did what we needed to do to get into the play-in tournament. Who do we beat? Who do we play in the play-in tournament? I forgot that quick. Who do we play? It wasn't the Cavs. Who did we play in the play-in tournament? Well, that's how bad we beat them. I don't even remember who we played. I think it was the Cavs. I'm pretty sure it was the Cavs, because then they got bounced out by the Hawks. So I think we played the Cavs. I'm pretty sure we played the Cavs. Annihilated them from what I remember. Whoever we played, I'm pretty sure it was the Cavs. Someone check me in the comments on that. Played them in the play-in tournament. Then we went to the playoffs. Kyrie had one of the most legendary game ones in NBA history. Granted, he proceeded to not play defense at the end and gave Tatum the layup to win the game. But, outside of that, offensively, Mans could not be stopped. He was able to flick off the crowd and still play. Again, one of the most amazing performances of all time. I'm putting it up there with Iverson in the finals. I don't care what anyone says. It was that magical. It was that magical. And then Kyrie kind of disappeared. I think he was just kind of mad and fed up with the series and the whole season, and then we got swept. So that's Kyrie's 2021-2022 timeline as far as that goes. So now that I got you caught up, let's focus on the offense. So the offense, you know what, I'll make you wait for offense. Let's do playmaking, because he is a guard. I thought as far as the times where it was his job to move the ball, which was not very often, because again, Harden was there, and then there was times where he was out there with Patty Mills because Seth Curry would be hurt every now and again. So, and Bruce Brown would kind of bring the ball up every now and again too. Not often, but sometimes. So Kyrie didn't really have much ball handling responsibility. His job was just kind of go out there and score. But the times he did, I thought he did a pretty decent job. Not as amazing as years past, but he wasn't really the point guard, so that wasn't particularly his job. So I got to give him a C+, just because there was never really an instance where he was the point guard like that. So off-ball type stuff, I can't really remember many times where he was lobbing it to Claxton or something like that, or doing some behind-the-back crazy, like LeBron no-look pass or something like that. So got to give him a C+, because the times he was facilitating, it wasn't like extreme. And I remember there were multiple times during the season where I had to get on here and tell y'all that when Kyrie is the number one option, it doesn't really result in winning, and history will tell you that, but that's not even there. So I got to give him a C+ for that. But then we go to offense. Go over to offense. A+. A- for the same reason Kevin Durant got an A-, and it's because of that Celtics series. Outside of game one, what happened to Kyrie? I mean, like, where was he? And it wasn't like he was getting the shackles put on him like Kevin Durant was. Kyrie was just non-existent. I mean, not even attempting shots from what I remember. So I got to give him an A- because we got to take the whole season into context. Not to mention he only played like 20 games in the regular season, so got to take some points off for that. But the regular season where he did play, he played really well until he was full-time. So I'm giving him an A- because the performance he put forth, having only played a fraction of the games, was really, really dope up until game two. So up until game 2 and the little in-between time going into the playoffs, I thought he played amazing offensively. Do I expect an MVP level season from that man? I do, because he's fighting for a contract right now. And contract Kyrie has got to be more dangerous than part-time Kyrie, untucked Kyrie, and face mask Kyrie all put together. I truly believe that. I believe homie's coming back with the neatly picked afro, and he ain't playing no games. He's literally playing basketball, but he ain't playing no games. If you thought what he did to Evan Fournier and Kemba Walker in the first round of the playoffs from last year against the Celtics was nasty, look what he finna do to folks' front court this year. I understand the Cavaliers think they cute with their new additions, but wait until Donovan Mitchell gets his ankle snatched on the nightly in the Eastern Conference from a motivated Kyrie Irving. I have full faith in that man. There is nothing else that can possibly go left unless we get another pandemic. I don't think anything else can possibly go left. He seems to be happy. His mental space seems good. He seems content, happy in his life, his kids. He's happy with his wife from what I've been hearing from interviews and such. He's in a good place. So there is literally nothing else that can go wrong. There's nothing else he can opt out of or not be a part of. I think this is going to be our first normal season. No shoulder injuries, no mood swings, none of that. Kyrie is going to be focused. Kyrie is going to be ready, and I'm going to be positive. And if you're wondering why I'm being positive, it is for the exact reason I told y'all all season when they traded Harden. Because we're stuck with him, at least for another year. So we might as well be positive about it. So I'm choosing to be positive. And overall grade for Kyrie Irving, he has got to get a C- strictly for the standpoint that 98% of the things that happen, I'm going to put on his shoulders. Granted, we could put that on Steve Nash, but players, Kyrie was a little disruptive, to say the least, and to get on camera multiple times and say the last thing he wanted to do was cause drama just made me chuckle. But that's neither here nor there. But I do think this year will be different. I do think this year will be different, unless he just doesn't get along with Ben Simmons or something. But I think everything's going to be fine. So for last year, got to give him a C- in total. But the offense was amazing. The offense was amazing. It's just availability, commitment, tardiness, vaccines. There's just multiple factors. But let me know what you think down below. What did you think of Kyrie Irving last year? Not talking about this year, talking about last year. What letter grade would you give him in every category? Let me know down below. It's been Sever the Bond, giving you one oodle doodle of a video to cap off your week. I will see you on Monday. Enjoy your weekend. I'm going to go listen to Weekend. Don FM. All right.